Hello, Euro fans. Welcome back to that Eurovision site. Joining me today is Albert from Siderland, who is one of the acts in the running to represent Spain in Liverpool. Benvingut. How are you today?
Thank you very much. Very fine. I'm glad to be here.
So before we start, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers who may be unfamiliar with you and tell us how Siderland come to be?
Yeah, I'm the bassist. I'm Siderland bassist. We are band from Barcelona. We started playing like 14 years ago, but 4 years ago we started this project, which is Siderland. We intended to do pop music. We always thought that in Catalan there was nothing like English pop music that international pop music, because Catalonia has a very strange musical environment, and which is very different from Spanish environment. So we wanted to play in Catalan what we listened to the radio. So we did this. Which we thought it was international pop music, but in Catalan. So we started Siderland, and this is what we have been doing for 4 years.
So you say that the Catalan music is different from Spanish. So for people who are not familiar with Catalan music, but maybe familiar with Spanish, can you explain what the difference is?
Yeah, it's not that. Catalan music is not a genre. It's you can do anything in Catalan or anything in Spanish, but the mainstream Catalan music, maybe it's more like it's more festive, trumpets, more. I wouldn't find the word, but it's something much more from the rumba, Spanish and Catalan rumba sounds, which are much more likely to I don't know, but it's more festive. Spanish music is now it's sending much more to indie music. It's a little bit different. And in Catalonia, the Catalan music which is played on radio, it's a little bit like this. It's it's music which is not usually alike to music you people in England or in America too are used to listen to radio. So we wanted to do in Catalan this kind of music, right? You could listen to Clean Bandit or Dua Lipa or any famous artist, which in Catalan you weren't used to listen to that kind of music.
Okay, so thank you for that explanation. So moving on to more Eurovision itself. So what are your earliest memories of the contest?
Whoa, my first memory, I think it was in 1998 when I was just 6 years old, Dan International. But it was like a very old memory. I don't remember about the contest itself. I just remember like the 12 points, and for me it wasn't not a song contest.
Yeah.
But then I think in 2002, when I was 10 years, in Spain, there was Operación Triunfo, which it was like not the Benidorm Fest, but something. It was like a song contest, and Rosa with Europe's Living a Celebration was there, and I think the whole country focused a lot in Eurovision, and it was like my, I don't know, coming of age in that sense. And I remember a lot this contest. I like very much Sagapo from Greece, and this strange performance in uniforms. And from there, I became not the Euro fan in a strict sense, but I always followed the song contest, and for me Eurovision became like a routine, and I always knew what was played there, and for me it was my beginning becoming a little Euro fan, not as much as people have known this month, which for them it's like the whole year is Eurovision. For me it was like only one day, but I also became very fond of this contest.
So having followed Eurovision for so long, and you're saying you've been together for 14 years, do you feel that any Eurovision acts or Eurovision act adjacent Eurovision, sorry, acts adjacent to Eurovision have influenced Siderland's music at all, or has it been very separate to it?
No, I mean, we've always followed Eurovision. I mean, for example, I think for us, a big influence it was Eleni Foureira in 2018. I if I can recall, for example, this performance for us, it was a bit of an inspiration. But no, we always had our own inspirations. But when 2 years ago, when we tried the first time to be in Benidorm Fest, we started thinking how our music could fit Eurovision, how our performances could fit Eurovision. And in the first time, we just I mean, we presented a song. It was not thought specifically for Eurovision, but the second time we did. So as we were composing the song, we were thinking how that would look on the stage and how that would look on Eurovision, how this could fit Eurovision. So in some way, Eurovision had a little bit of influence on what we did and what we have done now.
So what was it that made you try to enter a couple of years ago and this year itself? Like, what was the driving factor behind it?
Yeah, we're like, I mean, in Catalonia, there's no Eurovision tradition because in Catalan, there was no way except from Andorra to get into Eurovision. So a lot of Eurofans told us, "Hey, your music could fit Eurovision. You could try getting into it." And we didn't know the first time that the Benidorm Fest was coming, and there was like the chance to present any song in Catalan. So the first time we tried, we had just an album out, and because the album was out in the 21st September, so we were like in the terms, but the song wasn't made especially for Eurovision. So and then after the Benidorm Fest, we knew that we were like the third band. I mean, I don't know how to put it, but I mean, there were like two bands in the Benidorm Fest, and now we're the third out of 900. And so we were very close to get in, and we were like, "Oh shit!" I mean, that was the right moment, but we said, "Okay, let's try it again next year," but knowing that it would be much more difficult because Benidorm Fest had as much as success, and we know that everyone in Spain would try to be there. And we played this song when we did it, especially thinking how would that look in the stage, how would that look in Eurovision. And yeah, and they liked it, and they got us. But I mean, it was in the start all because of Eurofans told us they liked our music and they thought it would fit Eurovision.
So do you feel that because you didn't go into Benidorm last year, that having that gap and just seeing the contest in its first iteration, it helped you or at all of that, or do you not think that really affected it?
Yeah, sure. Because our song last year, I mean, it wasn't as good as this song that we have this year. It was a song, it was a good song, but it wasn't something we created and we thought to put in the stage this year. When we did this specifically, if we weren't chosen, we would have published it like a single. But we have we thought about it as a Benidorm Fest and a Eurovision song. So yeah, sure, it had an impact, and it changed our way of doing things.
And so you've been announced for at least, I think it's a month now. What's been your biggest surprise since you were announced as an act?
I don't know. I mean, it's a very different world for us. We hadn't been doing TV. I mean, we were a band, gigs. I mean, maybe radio promotion, but television for us, it's a very different thing. So yeah, the first time, I mean, 3 days after being chosen, we were on TV, and we did like a band show, and we realized that we had to change everything. That Eurovision wasn't about playing your music. It was like creating a whole concept, a whole show, and that's what we have been working in and working on. So now we feel like we have this solved, and we have a team that has helped us creating a whole new show, and we are very excited to show it, because that is been our most interesting and most important learning.
So now Spain obviously did quite well last year, ultimately coming third after years of quite lackluster results. Do you think that that good result is going to put pressure on whoever wins Benidorm in Liverpool, or will that not be a factor?
No, I mean, maybe what our biggest pressure, if you could say that, is that we are the first Catalan song to participate in a Spanish pre-selection. So, but except from that, which is we feel like responsible, and it's a big honor, but also responsibility. Apart from that, we know that we have to do our job. We have to work a lot and try that everything we've been creating these past weeks to put it in Benidorm Fest. And whenever we step out from the stage, feel confident that we have done what we could, and that's our best performance. And then the results, I mean, you'll never know, because now everyone is making its guesses. Okay, yes, this song will perform great, but you don't know. You haven't seen the performance live. You haven't seen its show. So now everything is like speculation. I mean, you have to wait to the day.
So obviously on the topic of the fact that your song is in Catalan, so with Esclati Tot being the only minority language song in Benidorm Festival this year, do you think that might have any effect on the results? And secondly, if you were to win, what would it mean to you personally to be the first Catalan first Spanish entrant to sing both in Catalan and a minority language in general?
I mean, we're not looking that far. I mean, it's everyone is like now highlighting we are the Catalan band. We are like last year was Tanchugueiras, but I mean, we have to I don't know, get over it. I mean, it's important, because we know that here people in Catalonia is looking forward to having some Catalan song in Eurovision. Everyone is looking forward. So and we want to be that song, but we know that if the song isn't good, if our performance isn't good, I mean, it won't make any difference if we sing in Catalan, in Spanish, in English, or in I mean, I don't know, in German. We have to perform great. We have to show people that we can do a great show, whatever the language is. And then if we get there, I mean, it would be great. And we know that is difficult, because if you understand the language, you're more keen to understand also the performance. But I mean, we know it's like a handicap, but also an opportunity. So, I mean, we just have to perform great, and that's it.
So speaking of the song itself, so the melody is a very upbeat, but the lyrics are a little bit more serious. How do you plan on conveying that the lyrics and the meaning of the song to those that aren't going to be able to understand it?
I mean, I think the song is very explicit. I mean, Esclati Tot, it means let everything explode. So we have to let everything explode in the stage. So we will be very explicit. We will make everything very explicit. We will not be conceptual. No, the song speaks about to people who have a different approach to when the world is ending. So we will make this very obvious in the stage. We will see explosions. We will see a world collapsing, and these two approaches. So I think for people who won't understand the lyrics, they will understand the acting. They will understand what we're talking about, and this is very important for us. And I think this is something people will appreciate, because it will be a song which everyone, even for people who understand Catalan or Spanish, will understand.
So you recently talked about how the inspiration of Que Esclati Tot came from a TV show, El Collapse. Could you tell our viewers how you came about writing a song that had been inspired by this?
Yeah, I mean, I myself watched this series in, I mean, 2 or 3 years ago, and this there is like this context. I mean, everyone is aware of, like, and I wrote this song after the war started in Ukraine. The Putin had this nuclear threats. There was like a whole feeling about, okay, we're like, the world is collapsing, and 2 years ago there was this feeling that we're running out of gas, running out of electricity, and there was like this whole global feeling. And there was this series which talked about the moment a society collapses, and I thought it was like a defining moment for people, because then when you get in extreme situations, you can think, what would you do there? No, you would be like, okay, you accept your fate, you try to get over it, get try to go on, or you get like blocked and you can't go on. And there are these two characters, and it was like appealing to me to portray these two characters, one getting to overcome the situation, the other one getting blocked. And it was like, and it was like this first episode of the series that got to me, and I wanted to write about it.
Do you personally feel like you would have been the blocked person, or you would have been the one to run?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think I would try to go on, but and the song is about going on, not getting blocked, because we feel like we want to. It's not a sad song, or yeah, it's not about this. It's about having fun, trying to get over this situation, but knowing that this is our reality. I mean, we and we want, we don't want to be sad or frustrated. It's our reality. We have to live in this reality, and we'll try to live it the best way we can.
Thank you. So moving up back to Benidorm Fest next month, if it comes to the final and you're announced as the winner, how would you celebrate?
Whoa. We have like this song. It's called La Festa Infinita, which is the translation would be the infinite party. I mean, we don't have problems having parties, so we would have a very extreme party. I mean, we know it's very difficult, and we would have also the party even if we don't get to the final or we don't win. And we're just so happy to be in Benidorm. It's something that we wouldn't have imagined. So I mean, we will throw a party even if we don't get to the finals or we don't get to Liverpool.
Thanks so much. So that's bringing us to the end of the interview. But before we do, I just have one final question. You recently tweeted about some of the most unjustly treated Eurovision entries, which actually, correct me if I'm wrong, it was your personal picks, wasn't it?
What? Sorry, I don't get what you.
You recently tweeted about what you thought were the 20 most unjustly
Oh
treated
yeah,
Eurovision
sure.
entries.
Yeah.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, were your personal picks, weren't
Yeah.
they?
Sure.
So if you had to take any one of those 20 songs and represent them at Eurovision, which one would they be?
Oh, that's a hard one. I mean, as we are a band, I like Le Fatal Picard very much, but maybe if we had like to come to agreement with the two others, I would choose or Francesco Gabbanni, Occidentalis Karma, or Daddy Freyer, Think About Things, because those are the two songs that we like most. But I mean, I like the 20 of them, so to me it's very, very difficult to choose just one.
And that's all we have time for. Just to remember for the viewers watching, you'll be able to watch Siderland perform Esclati Tot in the second semi-final of Benidorm Fest on the 2nd of February. And you can follow them on at Siderland Music on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you so much for joining me today, and bonne sorte for next month.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much.